Welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Entitled Parents Reddit video. In our first story, entitled parents try to get my manager fired. Let's jump right in. So a bit of background, I'm a 17-year-old female working at McDonald's, and the story contains 4 people: me, my manager, an entitled mother, and an entitled father. I often work shifts after school, 5 p.m. to 11 p.m., or 7 p.m. to 11 p.m., and this happened during one of the nights I was working a 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. I had come off my second break maybe 10 minutes ago. I was working drive-thru and it was a pretty slow night. There was a bit of a commotion at the front counter, and so I went to see what was up. I saw my manager speaking with an entitled mother. Entitled mother came in to complain about her food. She said there wasn't supposed to be tomato on her McChicken, and something else was apparently wrong with her food, but I can't remember what. She had already eaten half the food she ordered and was asking for it to be remade. At that point, my manager was tired since it was pretty late, and she didn't want to argue with the entitled mother, so she just said if the entitled mother had her receipt, then she would remake the food for her. The entitled mother got mad and stormed outside to grab the receipt from her truck she had ordered from the drive-thru. She came back about 5 minutes later, and my manager approved her receipt and told me to retake her order. I started taking her order. Should I make the McChicken regular? No, I want tomato on it. She said this even though the tomato was part of her reason for her order being wrong. She ordered the exact same thing over again. I completed it, and then I started to pack up her order. In comes entitled dad and their kid about 2 minutes later, just as I finished packing their order and hand it to entitled mom. Both entitled mom and dad said, No, the McChicken can't be in the same bag as the rest of my food. My daughter is severely allergic to tomato. That could kill her. Now, nobody had specified this during the drive-thru order or while they were reordering. Entitled dad started shouting at my manager, and my manager had also raised her voice a little since entitled dad wasn't listening to her. Entitled dad was trying to get brand new food for a 3rd time. My manager was fed up, so had an employee put on gloves and take the food from them. Then my manager issued a refund. 11 p.m. hit right after entitled dad and his kid had left, so I went to clock out at the front till, and I didn't notice entitled mom was still in the lobby. Entitled mom approached me and said, I want to file a complaint against her. She shouldn't be allowed to yell at customers. I looked up and politely explained that I was off work. Her immediate response was to ask to speak to the manager. The entitled mom completely lost her mind when she realized that my manager was in fact the person who had yelled at her earlier. Then she left. It was the most eventful night I've had in months. Story number 2. Entitled mom changes baby's nappy on cafe table. I'm sitting in a small cafe in a village in Surrey, the United Kingdom, having some lunch with a friend. It's a wealthy village and has its fair share of 4x4 driving entitled moms and their small babies, but this one really takes the biscuit. Despite the cafe having a bathroom with space for baby changing, entitled mom, having finished her coffee, puts her baby on the table. People around her eating and it's a small space, removes its clothing and pulls off a crap-filled nappy, which she puts on the table and proceeds to wet wipe her baby's bum. The smell was atrocious. Other customers just shared horrified looks, and the young waitress just stood there and looked scared. I spoke up, just had to. You do know there's a lavatory at the back, I said in my best headmistress voice. Entitled mom gave me a look that would curdle milk and retorted, Why don't you flip off and mind your own flipping business? I stood up, felt the red mist descending, which is a very rare event as I'm very laid back, usually. I really wanted to take the crappy nappy and rub her face in it. My Canadian friend pipes up, another mellow person, but the smell in a steaming hot small cafe was making everyone gag. People have got to eat off that table. I don't understand how you don't get that. Entitled mom starts swearing and shouting about us being a pair of flipping witches, etc., and the baby starts wailing. She very roughly starts manhandling the poor kid into a nappy, roughly pulls up its leggings, and it screams as she's obviously hurting it. Then she shoves the kid into its pushchair, knocks past several people's tables and seats, comes over to us by the door, hawks and spits a huge piece of phlegm onto our table. My face got sprayed on its trajectory down. Feeling murderous by now, I stood up to slap her, but my friend held onto my arm. I did tell entitled mom she was disgusting and should be banned from being in any cafe for her behavior. She raised her hand to hit me, thought better of it, and stormed out, forcing the buggy with the poor child in it into the door and took off down the street. And she left the crappy nappy right on the table for the staff to clean up. We haven't been to that cafe since. No idea why anyone would behave like that. Story number 3. Entitled Mom Wants Money from a Charity. For a little backstory, my family is really into Halloween and always have been. In 2019, I had the idea to build a haunted house in our backyard and it went well. This year, we decided to build it again, bigger and better. 2020 couldn't run because of COVID. It's free to enter. We take donations at the front of the haunted house for a charity of choice each year and donate half the proceeds. My family and I put our own money into the construction, and it takes a month of very hard work and a decent amount of money. I love making others happy and helping out the community I live in, and that's the main reason we do it. We most definitely don't make a profit out of this. This year's charity is a charity for my neighbor's 6-year-old kid that has autism and epilepsy. Anyways, on to the story. Saturday was the big day over the weekend, and my team of actors and I were so excited, and we had a very successful night. Over 500 people entered and $460 was raised. It was a big increase from 200 people the first year, but as the night was ending, a mom and her 2 kids came to the front, and this is how she started the conversation to my girlfriend at the entrance. "Are you guys seriously charging for this? I have 2 little kids. They should be free." "No, ma'am, it's free, as the sign says, but we are taking donations for a local neighbor's charity." "Okay, but what is the charity and who is it for?" My girlfriend explains the charity and shows the handout on the charity for the little boy. "Why does he need the money? There are people who can't afford basic needs like food and water. I live paycheck to paycheck, and this money would benefit my family more than this boy. You could give the money to my family and be happy knowing you helped a family. And anyways, the money you raise probably won't be that significant in helping the boy." I'm sorry that you feel this way. I'm also sympathetic to your situation, but this boy suffers from over 50 seizures a day. This money will go towards his medication and treatment. But do enjoy the haunted house. Entitled Mom got into line while rolling her eyes and huffing and puffing. My girlfriend told me over the radio that she was in line, and I chased her out of the haunted house down the path with a chainsaw. The kids really loved the haunted house though. This is John from /Bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to be the first to know when the next one drops, then subscribe. I'd love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and I'll see you in the next one.